At Refugees International, we've been doing analysis and advocacy on Sudan for many decades. And there is nowhere in the world that we are more worried about right now than Darfur. We're deeply alarmed by the grave human rights abuses that we're seeing across the country, but most urgently, the disturbing parallels to the Darfur genocide of 20 years ago. Just this morning, Reuters published detailed accounts of ethnic cleansing in El Geneina, and we know that that sort of thing is happening right now all over Darfur. As Refugees International and more than 50 other advocacy and diaspora organizations said in a letter earlier this month, Sudan is no longer at the precipice of mass atrocities. It has fallen over the edge. And that situation is driving massive humanitarian impacts across Sudan. More than 5 million people displaced, millions facing worsening hunger, and a collapse of medical services that's leading, amongst many other problems, to a deadly outbreak of measles in various parts of the country. So Refugees International is very honored to stand with all of you and with the Sudanese people as they call for attention, urgency, and action by the Biden administration on this crisis, which has now been underway for half a year. And we're sad to say that so far, the Biden administration is not meeting the urgency of the moment. We need to see the same kind of attentiveness from the White House on Sudan, and particularly and most urgently towards the ongoing ethnic cleansing in Darfur, that we see from them day in, day out on Ukraine. Crimes against humanity must matter just as much for a crisis in Africa as they do for a crisis in Europe. President Biden must put the same kind of political and diplomatic muscle into stopping civilian atrocities in Sudan as he has in Ukraine. And he must be just as invested in accountability for those atrocities, no matter where they are happening. Otherwise, he is signaling to the world that what he is pursuing in Ukraine is not about justice or accountability, it is merely about geopolitics. So we call on President Biden personally to speak out on the situation in Sudan. What is happening now in Darfur is rapidly shaping up to be his administration's Rwanda moment. And if he does not take much more serious action soon, it will be a Rwanda-like stain on his legacy. Again, we are proud to stand in solidarity with the Sudanese people as they call for action on Sudan. Sudan can't wait. Thank you.